Okay, so we're back.
I realize I missed a really good trick with that micro.
Well, there's no going back now. You're done.
No, there might be.
Okay. So we are cutting to Hakon, Jonas, and Mira, who are off finding out what a lumbermill is.
Yeah.
Because Jon Snow might know what a windmill is, but Hakon doesn't know what a lumbermill is.
Oh, you're the worst. Yeah, so we'd be wandering out towards, I'm assuming, the outskirts of town.
Yep. It's out past, almost as if you like go through the town and then you cut to the kind of left off the road and go down further in towards the forest. And it's
Sorry, keep going.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, as you kind of head out, you notice that the area that you're in, like, so around the town it's quite kind of dense with the houses and then the forest as you kind of come into the town, but as you leave, it's very sparse, very open. There's a large kind of area of the land that seems to be kind of... It's got kind of like patches of grass growing in here and there, as if it's kind of like recently been kind of... a lot of the kind of trees and stuff have been cut down and then like tore up to kind of create more area. And then as you kind of head towards it, you start getting the kind of like occasional tree stump, and then you get to the point where like the ground is covered in that kind of like cream-looking like sawdust and stuff everywhere as you get closer and closer to the lumbermill and stuff's just kind of getting chopped down. What are you shaking your head at?
What Bryn just posted.
Alright.
Right, okay,
yeah,
so
so
just tree stumps
quickly,
Mm-hmm.
Graham.
Yes.
Due to my rather underseated background, would I know of any like local criminal like organizations in the area?
Do you have any... What knowledge do you have?
I have knowledge local.
You're not really local from here, though.
Yeah, but surely knowledge local is knowledge of the local, or is it like?
Honestly, I don't know how that kind of comes under stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. 'Cause it's not like a knowledge criminal.
I would kind of go for more of a knowledge of kind of like the local goings on. So you've not really explored anything, so you wouldn't really have any kind of knowledge. But
I more mean
if
from like
you,
because it's actually a fairly major town outside Balasar with like a lot of trade and shit.
Yeah, if you make a knowledge local roll, and we'll see what happens.
Dun, dun,
Cool.
Dun, dun.
Maybe 13.
Alright, you've not really heard of any kind of like majors goings on in this town. I mean, you had heard of it going in. You'd heard that it's a kind of major trade route for a lot of the capital getting kind of the supplies of wood. Like, it is probably the place where it's probably the biggest kind of like foresting area in this side of the capital.
Okay.
Other than that, there's not real any kind of
Price.
there's no raw money in logging, so it's not as if they're like mining gems and stuff you can steal. It's just like if you steal a bit of wood, it's a bit of wood. Until you carve it into something nice, it's not really, it doesn't really have a value.
And even then, like stealing a fucking nice set of tables and chairs isn't subtle.
Yeah, and it's also like you don't really go to like any kind of seedy underbelly being like, hey man, do you want to buy this furniture? Do you want to buy this table?
Exactly. Okay, cool. No, that's fine.
What are you buying?
What are you buying? Do you want this chest of drawers? Got a nice wardrobe here.
Full poster bed.
Yeah. As you're actually walking down the street, that's what people are kind of like accosting you with. Is like, hey man, you want to buy this?
Oh, the fucking little street sellers.
Yeah, hey man, you want to buy this lamp?
Does anyone get uncomfortably close to me?
Pair
with their shit?
As you're like walking about? No, most people are kind of keeping their distance.
Good.
Not in a kind of like scared way, but in a kind of like
polite way.
Yeah, kind of like polite honor, like honestly, almost like giving you a kind of like a sign of authority, being like, oh, you gotta stay, like kind of give them space and be nice and polite to them.
A wide berth.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll just kind of ignore him. Because, funnily enough, I don't want any furniture.
Oh well. I mean, I think
Is there any
at the moment?
Is there any particularly nice furniture, Graham?
there's a lot of nice stuff. The furniture's probably not what would interest you. There's some like little knickknacks and like stuff though. You can get like a little necklace or like a little kind of like a little wooden carving of a kind of animal or something.
Okay.
There's some random shit.
What sort of animals?
Not pigs. They're not big on pigs.
Didn't ask about
Why
any.
not? What?
Because
Oh,
Will went on
these
about
guys
pigs
are
a lot.
outrageous.
Well, I
There's-
didn't ask pigs. What other animals are there?
There's little
Hi,
bears.
Gabby.
Gabby! Please continue, Graham.
There's little bears. There's kind of like little wooden. I don't know what else would there be. I think what's in the area.
Trees.
Bears, foxes.
There's lots of wooden depictions of trees.
It's basically
Are
animals.
there any owls?
Is there any what?
Owls.
Owls? No.
Yeah. Okay.
These guys are useless. They don't do anything.
No,
I just wander on down the road.
it's mainly like it's like basically imagine if you went to like a small town in like the Highlands of
Yes,
Scotland.
it's a market. It's a small town market.
Well, yeah, but they like anything that's like they're advertising to tourists is stuff that's local to the town. Like stuff that if you came here, it's like so they've got stuff of like animals of the forest and things you would find there, and
Do they have anything from the Edinburgh Woolen Mill? Because every bastard town seems to have something from the Edinburgh Woolen
my
Mill.
dad used to work for them, but anyway, that's why I moved to Dumfries was because he worked for them. But anyway,
Next story.
next story. Not even in fucking Edinburgh.
They never are.
So we're wandering down the road, looking at all of the non-produce that's on the
Yeah,
table.
you're heading out of the town.
It's all shite.
towards the lumber mills, and you're kind of heading towards this kind of chopped down area of trees.
Okay. Is there like an encampment anywhere, or is it just literally just like barren trees, or lack of trees?
There's a lack of trees. Have you ever seen X-Men Origins with Wolverine?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
know-
that.
I know- right, yeah.
Where it's like just there's barely any
It's
trees.
just
all over the
stumps
place.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
'cause Hakon's not okay with this.
is he not? We'll see.
No.
How's he feeling?
He's feeling a bit distressed.
Right.
He's never seen something like this before.
So as you're kind of like starting to walk towards what is probably the kind of main lumber, like the main kind of like area of the lumber mill, Mira kind of turns to you and is like, "Are you okay? I mean, I know you wanted to go see this, but is this kind of what you expected, or?"
I just don't understand, and it's one of the things of my people are that we accept all, and I just want to understand.
It's like, well, your people don't really have a great need for building permanent shelters and permanent residence, so you've never really had any need for any kind of like materials to build those shelters. Whereas for a lot of this world now, people like to stay in one spot. People like to have their houses and their homes, and those often come with digging out areas of the land to create these houses for us.
But surely such wanton destruction is not required.
Required? Probably not, but it's just that's the way it works. I mean, the trees don't make MD any money just sitting there doing nothing, but cut them down and a lot of people
The
get
animals
rich
that
off
live
it.
in them do.
It's like, well,
Hunting, farming, all of those are entirely reasonable.
it's like, well, that happens too. Just this particular area cuts down the trees. That's just what they do.
I would probably just shake my head and wander on towards what I would imagine would be some structure of some kind.
Okay, Salisbury's eating Porno's frozen. Will's not listening.
Lag!
Did you get what I said?
No.
Yeah, no, we kind of heard it. I'll assume that you said you're going to head in towards the log cabin, so we're gonna do that. So as you approach, you see very few people kind of about. There's a couple of large buildings. There's one that's got like a kind of large kind of metal saw that's at it. That's getting kind of it's getting powered by like I'm trying to think exactly how, but like I don't know if they'd be able to do like a generator, but they'd have like a water wheel kind of thing next to a small kind of lake as you're going up. That's got the kind of saw blade powered through that. I mean, obviously they don't have like electricity and stuff, but
of course,
it's about as like high tech as you can get in this kind of area.
Is there anybody kicking about? For a sort of foreman or something.
Is it like the logging camp in the Grizzly Hills?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do they have like a slide then that you can go down?
No, because no one ever goes there, and no one ever actually like bothers to take the time to take part in these silly things.
Just take the slide. God damn it!
I'm just looking at these webcams. Mine seems to be lagging a bit, but not all the time. Goddamn phones. Why are they useless? Anyway, so as you approach...
Not webcams.
Yeah, no, I've not got a webcam, I've got a phone.
Exactly, me and Brune have our lives sorted.
Okay, as you approach, you kind of go up to this log cabin. They've got a kind of like, little kind of, like, sign thing out the front that's carved out of like solid wood that has a thing that's like, welcome to the Carlington Logging kind of company. Let us, like, we can provide you with any kind of like any of your needs, blah blah blah. Like, and it's got like a kind of like a very detailed carving of like the area and like the kind of like it's like basically the same kind of thing as that like map you saw before on the front of it. And it's like, do you know if you ever go to those like wooden areas, like woodland areas, and they have those big stone tablet things with like the information on it, and it shows you like what's going on and where stuff is in the area. It's like one of them. And there's a like kind of small pathway leading up to the entrance to this log cabin area. Have we lost Porno, or is he still here?
No idea.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here. It's just my webcam's not working though.
Well, because your webcam's not working, everything has gone apeshit.
Is there like a? Can I see a Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix it. 1 second. That working?
Kind of. Got a little spinny wheel.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
Just got the buffering thing.
Oh yeah, it's loading.
There we go.
Hang on, how is my phone doing?
Right. Yeah. So, is there like is there a person in charge or anything kicking about?
I mean, there's no one outside, but the door to the place seems open, and it's kind of like it seems like it's active.
I'd take a wander up to the door then and have a peek inside.
Okay, so inside it's got a kind of like the whole place is made like everything's made of wood, and it's all well carved, and it looks the kind of same kind of thing as what you saw in the town. There's a guy behind the desk who you notice is wearing the same kind of like uniform thing as the guy that was in the inn, and he's sitting behind the desk, and they have kind of like bits kind of sitting out that like examples of like stuff that they've made and stuff that they've done, and it's all kind of like sitting around the place. They've got same kind of thing of like pelts and stuff all over the place, and things that they would have had from what you can assume is animals that were in this forest but are now no longer in this forest.
Okay. What was the name of the guy in the inn?
The name of the guy in the inn?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Soulsby.
Did you write it down?
I did. I actually didn't write it down because it was so ridiculous.
It was like Beltrig or something.
Yeah, it was. Let's go with that.
Yeah, it started with... Yeah, it started with a B and it sounded posh. I don't know.
Okay. So I will just like kind of peruse the pelts and such to start. Just kind of see like what sort of things are kicking around, and then have a little more of a look around the room.
All right. Basically, any animal that you saw little figures of, there's like pelts and stuff for here. There's kind of like carvings of what look like out of bone. There's stuff that kind of looks like it looks as if they've like tried to do what they think is like the kind of the kind of the good hunter thing of use all the parts and make use of it and try and kind of at least make it worthwhile. kind of thing. Like they're trying their best.
Okay. Is there anybody else in this room apart from that guy behind the desk?
Nope, just him.
All right.
As you walk in, and you're kind of like the first person in, like Mira's kind of still waiting about outside. I don't know what Jonas is doing other than laughing.
I was
Neshoba would
laughing
be
at what
like
Will posted.
bounding
I'm
along
just
behind me.
yeah, I'm just kind of chilling with him.
Neshoba would be like bounding along behind me.
Okay.
You said he said something.
Yeah, so you come in and he's like, greetings. Can I interest you in any of our wares? Anything you'd like to purchase from us today? Anything? No.
Is he going in?
I maybe not necessarily want to purchase something, but I was wondering maybe what did you do here?
So Hakon has a stroke in the middle of the place.
Graham, do you have any technical difficulties, music?
It has been fine.
Do I have any kind of...
Okay.
Hang on.
There we go. Right, is that better?
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
better. I can't see shit, but
In any way?
Hang on.
your voice is much, much better.
Okay, fine. I would have said to him then that. God damn it. I would have said to him that I don't particularly
That's
want
our
to buy
technical
anything,
difficulties.
but I would like him to tell me what sort of stuff that they do here.
He kind of says, like, he's like, well, and he just kind of like starts pointing to things, being like, we have these, and like, he's like doing the full like salesman pitch of what they've got to offer you, rather than actually answering the question.
I would like to hear the salesman's pitch.
Okay, well, he says, well, all of our wares are locally sourced from the surrounding area, as you could see as you approached. We have some very fine craftsmen, or very fine. I don't know, what would you call someone that works with wood?
A carpenter?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. For some reason, I was thinking of like something to do start with a T. Don't know why. Anyway,
A heathen, a murderer.
yeah, right. So he's like, we have very
Jeebus.
very fine, skilled carpenters that live in the area that do a lot of the work for us, and they produce many fine wares. If you're looking to stay in the area, you can take part, or you can see them like in more detail at the upcoming festival that we have in the town. And he's still kind of like pointing to stuff, being like, if you're looking for any like kind of industrial sized orders, we can have like shipments of like logs and wood and stuff like that sent out to you. It'll be delivered, blah blah blah, and kind of starts giving you a list of stuff you can get and the prices and things like that. Jonas, what are you doing at this point?
Okay. I say I appreciate your. I've gone all like it again, haven't I?
Yeah.
Use some of that fucking chief vice president warlord of spreadsheets money and get a good webcam.
It's not the webcam; it's the internet.
But she's not allowed to touch because his parents have that, and that's not how it works.
I would say, so I'd say to them, that's a mighty sales pitch you have. Unfortunately, I don't have any money to buy anything substantial with. However, Baldric, your friend at the inn, said that you may have some information on the Lord's daughter here.
Baldric.
I can't remember his actual name, so I'm calling him Baldric.
Fine, let's go with Baldric. That's better. He's like,
That's so much better.
he's like, I don't.
He said there were, and I lean in a little bit closer and say, rumblings
He's
in
like,
the lumberyard.
he looks at. He's like, He's like, there's not been any rumblings around here. We just it's like work has been going well. Our production rate is as high as it's ever been, and everything's. It's like
I lean in even closer. And I'm saying, I'm not talking about production.
It's like, I don't understand what you're talking about then, sir.
Baldric merely mentioned that perhaps there was some work for those that are looking to assist.
Like, are you wishing to, like, are you wanting to make an application for a job here? Are you wanting to become?
No, sir. Baldric said that this was the sort of work that did not require that wasn't accepted with a contract and was a little more off the cuff.
Okay, he is thoroughly confused what you're talking about. He has like no clue.
Okay, I was more trying to see if he would kind of prelude to the problems that.
I keep thinking all the cameras are frozen, but it's just pornos, and no one else is really moving. And Soulsby, you're muted.
Yeah, it's just porno. So do you want me to just carry on?
Yeah, if you do some stuff, because
okay. So as I see him like looking totally like surprised and just have no clue, I'm just like, all right, good day, sir, and just like walk out.
Okay.
Well, I was just trying to find out about like you said there was problems with the lumber mill and the
Yeah, you didn't know that though.
the Lord.
You
Yeah,
didn't
we
know
didn't know that.
Yeah, that was Thonan that
we
knew,
did.
but no,
No,
Thonan
he
told
told
the bar.
Thonan.
Wasn't that what Baldric was talking about?
No, the guy at the
No.
bar, the guy at the inn said that the Lord's daughters went missing, and that if you went and
right.
spoke to the Lord, you might be able to help him find them. But he
Sorry,
doesn't know.
I thought that it was Baldric that was talking about the Lord not knowing having problems with the lumberyard.
No, that was the barkeep saying that some of the workers had mentioned it, but no one had really.
Before someone got ridden like a horse.
My bad.
Or like a whale, I'd say.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to crack my lungs with blood and thunder, but I was pretty close.
So yeah, do you want to just go up and meet everyone at the like Lord's Manor then?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Okay, unless there's anything else you want to do at the tree graveyard.
No, I just wanted to see what it was about, see what it looked like, see if there was anybody kicking around. But this boy seems pretty useless. Maybe he should be George.
You can call him whatever you want. So, yeah, you guys head back round. You basically just follow the path that you went down before, back through, past all the people trying to sell you stuff, who kind of notice that you've been down before, don't really pester you as much this time. You get past them, back into the centre of town, into the park area, and you kind of head up the other road towards the top of the hill and the manor at the top. So you all kind of like managed to meet up around kind of like mid-late afternoon. I'm really worried about this webcam and how it keeps just like it's just like behind. I think I might have put it in too high a setting.
We'll find out. Post-production will find out.
There's not going to be any post-production. Like, I'm literally just leaving it. The whole point is I can't be bothered doing post-production.
It's very
Well-
easy of you, Graham.
I was
YouTube
gonna
will
say
find
we'll
out, it's
we'll
fine.
fix it in post. How's that?
We don't have post. That's the thing.
Graham, I don't think our mad viewership will be too complacent.
We'll do it live! Do it live!
Right. So, we're now doing it live. Okay, so you all meet up outside.
What were we
this.
doing before?
We were doing it. I don't know. Well, you guys.
Semi-live.
Yeah, no, you guys are live. I've got a delay. So you all meet up outside this manor. It is like it looks fairly ridiculous from the outside in that they have obviously went to an extreme to make everything made of wood. Like, to the point that, like, the fence and the railings and stuff outside are all made of, like, wood. And it's, like, what should be, like, large kind of, like, metal kind of fencing around the entire, or, like, railings and stuff around the entire place is just, like, well-polished and well-carved wood that goes all the way around.
How sturdy is it?
It looks pretty sturdy. Like, it looks as if it's, like... Also, there's, like, people posted outside outside the gates of the place. But it kind of looks more like it's trying to be...
Well, if you're trying to talk to us, you're muted.
No, I'm really not.
Okay.
It's just really funny.
Right, okay.
So... But yeah, you guys all kind of meet up, and you're there as well, Thonan, seeing as you headed there.
Good crack. What did you guys find out?
Nothing much.
Fuck all.
Lumberyards are pretty boring places.
I found myself a white
See no
whale.
right in them. Did you find your hog?
No, I found a white whale though. It eluded me this time. I will have to continue the chase another time.
Better watch that, could become addicted. Mira got anything to say about the current situation? Anything at all?
She's just kind of been like following you guys about and not really been saying a whole lot. She was kind of talking to you and more interested in like what you thought about the whole lumbermill thing, but
Yep.
since then she's not really been saying much. As you guys approach though, she starts kind of looking about, being like, well, this will definitely be the place of some kind of lord of a town. It looks as if this guy's making a point of it.
Are you cool with us going to see this guy, Mira?
Well, as much as I'm not the typical kind of prospect situation kind of thing, I don't see anything wrong with looking to help the people of this place. Like anywhere in this country that can do with the help of people like us is definitely going to be worth doing. I mean, I didn't really set out with the kind of like obvious goals in mind of a lot of these girls, where I want to become like famous and renowned across the land, but I want to just do my part along the way.
Yeah, you can do that on your back.
It's kind of like squints at you, being like, interesting comment for someone of your people to make.
I'm sorry, I've spent too much time around Thonan recently. Plus, if we help him out, maybe he'll give us some money for some horses and we can get this first leg of our journey done much quicker.
No horses.
Yeah, them's the rules.
Gotta walk.
They can carry stuff.
They can carry stuff. You could get horses. Horses are fairly expensive though.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's
And
just
this is a
get
fucking lord that's lost his daughter. I'm imagining he'll pay quite a bit of money to get her back.
Daughters, there's two of them. That's even more, that's double the money.
Exactly.
Double the cash.
Or we can just
Anyway, let's go in and find out what he's up to.
Alright, so you approach the entrance to this place, and there's two kind of guards sitting out the front. They, once again, are dressed not in the kind of like uniform, but the same
One
kind
sec.
of colours.
Graham, before we approach, I want to ask Mira, is she okay with this guy knowing that we are prospects and protectors?
Yeah, like she kind of says, like I feel a lot of people would treat us differently if they find out that we actually have a purpose. If we're just random people wandering about their town wanting to help out, it doesn't really give us much weight. If we say that we're prospects and protectors, then
I was thinking much the same. I can't imagine he'll give an audience to a random group of people.
Yeah.
Whereas if he knows that a prospect wishes to speak to him, he might give us at least a time of day.
Fucking bear.
it's like she kind of says, like, I've heard some people in the land aren't too happy with the entire situation of what happens during the Darkening, but the closer you get to the capital, the more political and the more kind of
And if anything goes wrong, you've got Winston to help you.
that's true. Does have Winston. But yeah, she's like, the closer you get to the capital, the more political it becomes, and the more it becomes more of a kind of like a ceremony and more of a kind of traditional thing than actually. People ignore the event and what happens, and it just becomes. She just kind of like goes on a little bit, and you can kind of tell from this that she doesn't really agree with the whole situation, but like this is what it is, and this is what she's kind of got to put up with. Not that she's a prospect, like she doesn't seem to mind that, but just the way that she thinks other prospects are, and the way that they're just like useless girls that are just sent out and to do whatever. Cool.
Cool, let's progress on.
So,
yeah, my DM, by the way, Graham.
yeah.
Excellent.
So, with that, she kind of heads forward and kind of like walks ahead of you guys and walks up to the guards at the front and kind of greets them and says, "Hello, I am Prospect Mira. I am here as we have heard word that we may be able to aid the lord of this manor in retrieving his daughters, and the guards look at it being like, just kind of look at me being like, you don't look like a lot of the prospects we'd seen before, and there's kind of like back and forth where she's like, she's like trying to convince them without actually like showing them the prospects pen and stuff, but then finally just kind of is like, right, okay, here you go, and kind of like shows them it, and they kind of accept that to be fair enough, and they're like, and one of the guards says, and I assume these are your protectors, and kind of looks to you guys for the first time, kind of behind her.
Is he asking her or is he asking us?
He's asking you guys, like he's kind of like looking past her, like he knows who she is, but he's kind of.
Yeah, I was just wondering if he was asking her. Anyway, I just kind of like nod my head.
Yeah, no, I think literally as soon as she like holds up the pennant thing, he kind of not so much loses interest from her, but like begins directing anything at you rather than her, as if she's like not like basically.
Oh my god, it's the patriarchy at work. I'm so triggered right now.
Why not? Let's go with that. Fuck
yes.
It. Yeah. Okay.
So triggered.
So yeah, he starts to kind of talk to. He's from now on is just kind of talking directly to you guys, and he's like, "So, are you her protectors?"
But yes, we are.
Right. And you wish to help with the finding the Lord's daughters? Is that correct?
If that's what he needs help with, we weren't totally sure about what was afoot, but we just thought we'd help in any way we could.
It's like, well, it's probably
The help of 3 protectors and a prospect could always be used, I hear.
Yeah, and like, he kind of repeats that back. He's like, yes, the help of 3 protectors would be very helpful.
And I just say, and a prospect.
He's like, he just kind of looks at me and he's like, and then looks back and he's like, yeah, okay. He's like, but then he says, he kind of turns to the other guy and he's like, do you see any? Do you think we should let them in, kind of thing? And like the other guy's been like barely paying attention, just kind of staring off into the distance as if he's like not even bothering, and just kind of turns around and be like, yep, what, yeah, sure, yep, cool. It doesn't seem like the best, like the most kind of like strict guards about.
Cool. I just kind of start walking in.
Right. Okay.
He's like, yeah. Like,
okay.
And I just turn around to the guy and be like, "You got some nice wood here." Don't walk in.
As you say that, he like kind of smiles and is like as if you're like being really sincere. He's like, "Oh, thank you, sir. We're very proud of it."
Fucking noobs doing anything about weird wood.
Right. So you head inside. Okay. So you can start kind of heading down the path towards the manor, and it's kind of like large kind of open grass area. It's got a couple of fountains in it. It's got a few like benches that are obviously wooden. As you kind of go forward, it's got that kind of like wooden kind of porch thing at the front where it's got the kind of like wooden steps coming down, and then along it's got the kind of like front kind of area with like a hammock and shit at the front and all that kind of thing.
Is it a wooden
Make a
hammock?
joke about being surrounded by wood, but this is just sad.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. This is like the village of wood. But yeah, there's kind of like.
Gotta hope there's not gonna be a fire here. This is dangerous.
Don't tell them that. That's like their biggest fear. So yeah, you kind of go up to these kind of like large double doors, and yeah, that's the kind of like, and like Mira kind of like goes to take a step forward to chat on the door, and she's like, "You guys better do the talking here," and just kind of steps back and like stands at the back.
I ask her why. Sorry, it's like why, Mira?
It's just kind of looks and is like, there's a lot of people who kind of look down, not like they understand prospects to be important, and they see them more as these dainty flowers who have no real like substance and no real kind of value in life other than just like giving themselves to this cause. So I think protectors are often seen as being the heroic adventurers and the heroic protectors that they are.
Only love is wood. being judgmental. I love it.
It's like how wrong they can be, and I just kind of like batter on the door.
All right. So, eventually, after quite a while.
If they don't come to the door quickly, I batter on it again.
Yeah. So like you start hammering on the door,
and I'm literally just I'm just hammering on the door until they open it.
Okay, so eventually the door, like, as you, like, swing forward, the door opens, and there's just this kind of, like, small, old-looking guy with, like, the complete, like, butler...
I immediately, like, move in the door as soon as it
Yeah, as I say, I was like, good afternoon, and just walk in.
Okay, so there's this old guy just standing there being like, hello, sirs, how can I help you? And you're just barging in past him. He's like, what is the meaning of this? The Lord should not be disturbed by this...
Right. I would like to see the Lord, please.
I didn't see you there. You were just covered in old. I'm sorry.
I was like, we'd like to see the Lord, please.
Alright, as you say that, he kind of like looks back down the path towards the guards, sees they're still kind of like standing at their post, and like there's nothing crazy's happened. And he's like, very well. He's like, I will get the Lord. Please wait in the study, and like points to the side.
They're not great guards, are they?
He's like, no, I feel they are getting worse. And wanders off.
I immediately look around toward. Where do you point? To the right, where the study is.
Yeah, like down. Like
I immediately go left and like have a snoop about.
Okay, so you go into the left, and it's like a kind of like a drawing room that has lots
wooden
of
drawing room.
Yeah, you go in, and it's got like again, it basically is the same kind of like layout and stuff as the other places that you've been in.
I'm not like rifling through drawers and shit like that. Obviously, I'm
you're just having a look. Yeah,
poke about.
Right, there's kind of like there's animal heads mounted on the wall. There's like again pelts and rugs and stuff on the floor. You can see what looks like quite a few kind of like bows, crossbows, that kind of thing, like mounted along the wall, as if like this is his kind of like trophy room and where he keeps all his like achievements.
Nice. I just kind of then go off to the light study and just chill out.
So the other side's like slightly less adorned with dead animals and stuff, and it's kind of like looks kind of plain. And eventually,
wooden.
Yeah, it's wooden. It's plain wood though.
Funny that.
What kind? I didn't ask this actually. What kind of wood is it? Are we talking pine, mahogany?
A bit of oak, a bit of birch,
bit of oak.
It's kind of mixture between the two.
Red
mixed bag.
The mighty Scotch pine.
Yeah. So, eventually, this guy comes down, and he's wearing like a very kind of like typical. He looks like Hugh Hefner with like the kind of like silken-looking robe thing on.
Does he have a bubble pipe?
No, he doesn't have a pipe. Oh, he has a wooden.
As he walks in, I'm like, oh, I'm surprised your robe isn't wooden, given this house.
He looks at you. He's like, as much as many of my things are wood, I like to keep some things not wood. He just kind of like looks at you, being like,
Quite the wordsmith, aren't you, sir?
It's like, yes.
Right, good. You need daughters, and I need a brothel built of wood or whatever the fuck you want. Now, let's get down to business.
Right. At saying that, he just kind of looks sternly. He's like, please don't use the term brothel and my daughters in the same sentence, sir.
Whatever. Whorehouse. I don't care. Gaping maw into the abyss. Whatever. Let's just get some business done.
He's like, so, you are protectors? You are prospect, I assume? What other reason would...
Fabulous. I don't know about these idiots.
Yes, quite. What other reason...
That's a wolf.
That is a wolf. He's like, so I assume that you have been speaking to people in the town, and they have told you of the events that have happened in this town as of late. He's like,
Well, you say things. There's been one thing that happened.
It's like, well, I mean, he kind of looks at. He's like, the festival.
I mean, you've got a fair in like 2 days, and that's about it.
He's like, the festival begins
the wood
soon.
Fair.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have pigs.
Yeah, what sort of pig doesn't have a pig?
Is there gonna be wooden pigs?
I don't know. There might be.
This could be relative to my interests.
They have a grand tradition of a giant wooden pig that men get inside and invade other castles.
Had a couple of weekends that sounded like that.
Yes, sir, if you have not guessed, we are here to help you with the issue you may have had with your daughters.
He's like, well,
I don't think he may have had the issue. I think he does.
Yeah, I think they definitely have had and are beginning to grieve the loss of their daughters.
We
And
have
you're
a
like,
fairly severe case of them missing and probably dead.
yeah. He's like, well,
If you had a whorehouse, you might be there.
it was around 5 days ago now. As you can understand from that, I am losing a lot of faith that they would ever be found.
How old are your daughters?
They are 12 and 14.
Too old.
Oh God. Where were they? Where were the last seen?
He says, he's like, as much as I try to be a good father, I'm not around as often as I'd like. I wasn't available on in the day they went missing, so I'm not entirely sure. As I hear from my wife, they were out in the town.
Can I just get this straight? They've been missing 5 days, and you're yet to work out where they were when they were last seen.
He looks like he's like we've had people looking for them a long time. We've not found any kind of signs of when they were missing. The last time I saw them was the day previously at night when I tucked them into bed. But during that day, I didn't see them.
Beds.
Interesting.
I was like, do you wish us?
Hmm?
Do you know who last had contact?
He says, I'm not entirely sure, but what I heard from my wife was,
Sorry.
What use are you?
So I only have 2 more questions for you. 1, where is your wife? And 2, do you want us to find your daughters?
I do wish you to try and find my daughters. If you could find them, that would be beyond belief to me. As much as I've lost faith that they would be found alive, even having some kind of closure at this point would be a good thing, and I think it would help my wife a lot. At the moment, she's in grieving, and I don't think she would be. I don't think she would be wishing to bring herself to the public at this point.
Well, she may be more help than you are.
It's like, no, he says, I have been speaking with her over these days, and she's given me all the information that she has. So anything you wish to know, I can help you with.
Unfortunately, sir, you have been.
Well, he was going to tell you something, and you interrupted him.
Every single time he's gone to tell us something, he's been like, yes, well, I don't know this, but that person I was speaking to told me this.
Yeah, because he's useless.
Right, I'm gonna give him this bit of paper.
Okay.
Cool. And then so he doesn't know who last had contact, or was it his wife?
No, he was going to say that and got interrupted. His wife told him that the last people that would have had any kind of contact with them would have been the owner, or like not the owner, but the person who runs the child daycare thing that his wife owns in town, because that's where the kids were. Okay.
Yeah, we just leave.
I gave him that bit of paper. Let's all get away from Treebeard before he bores us to fucking death.
Right. He's very confused when you give him that bit of paper. Like,
it's fine. He doesn't need to understand it just yet. He just needs to know about it.
Okay, so he's like, just, you kind of like wander off with him holding this bit of paper, being like, "What the fuck was that?" Also, there is a thing called wood armor, and it was going to be on all of the guards, but I decided it would be silly.
You decided that would be silly.
Yeah, that's way too far.
Okay, well the guards at the gate didn't have wood armor, but you never know.
I just kind of like burst through the door and just like walk out and kind of like brush the shitty wooden gates aside and like, sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
And stride off towards the daycare center.
Straight off, with no clue where you are going, towards the daycare center.
Well, I'm assuming we have a map that will have the daycare center on it.
Why? No, you had a map with restaurants and bars on it. Why would it have a daycare?
Well, someone will be more than that useless old fuck in the like town.
Fair enough. All right. So, yeah, you guys can head into the town and do what you want. What's your plan?
I could definitely go ask those lot in the bar about the daycare center.
Yeah.
Oh, are they your good friends now?
Yeah, totally. Tight as butt cheeks. Let's go.
Alright, we'll follow you.
Sweet, I lead them down to that dive I was in earlier. What was it called? The salt, the fucking strong log.
Yeah.
Right, I just kind of wondering, how busy is it, or is it calmed down? What's the crack?
Right, so you all going down there this time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all head in.
I'm not going in, but I'm.
Oh, you're just in the kind of area, right? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Mira waits outside with you. I don't think she wants to go in. I think she's trying to like just play it quiet. So yeah, Thonan, you go back in. It is a lot quieter than it was earlier on. It's kind of like getting nearer to.
Really?
Yeah.
With a disappearing gnome.
Well,
Having just.
Is there like
you see just
a reasonably large woman still about?
No, like a lot of time is passing. But right, okay. So basically, you walk in. It is like probably 7 o'clock at night, and this place is quiet, which for a bar seems kind of odd.
So because they don't have any hogs.
So, but yeah, as you go in, there's like a few people sitting about. The people that are sitting about mainly seem to be the ones that are drinking. Like, it doesn't seem to be like it's kind of like busy with people anymore.
Right, I hop back on that kind of like cutlery table at the end of the bar and just kind of knock the bar until the barkeep looks at me.
Alright, so he kind of looks over and he comes over to you and he's like, oh, you've returned. I have news for you.
My, what would that be?
He's like, earlier on,
Right.
he's like, I wasn't fully paying attention, but I'd heard word from some of the people in the bar that one of our dear bar girls had fallen, and
It's kind of like when he says girl.
yeah, and he's like, and on the back of her was a small creature who was dancing and singing and then disappeared. Can you believe? We believe it was a leprechaun.
Interesting.
He's like,
Okay,
we've heard tales of them, but we've never seen one.
As interesting as
That's
that
like,
is, I'm
if
currently
you find him
looking
again, you might find his pot of gold.
for the daycare center. Do you know where that is?
Okay, he's slightly distracted by the idea of a pot of gold, but he's like, guys, we could get a pot of gold. But he says, oh yeah.
Care, it's not a pot of wood.
What?
Saying, what does he fucking care? It's not a pot of wood.
I don't think he's as obsessed with wood. Remember, he's like, you're outside the kind of like fucking woodtopia that is that central area.
Weirdos.
Yeah.
Woodtopia.
Slightly more normal.
Yeah. He's just like, I just run a bar. I don't care.
Care for your wood.
So yeah, he's like, oh, that would be the ladies' daycare that she runs. It's the Carlington daycare. It's just it's like the first, and he kind of like starts kind of try to direct you, and then finally like just writes it down and shows you like a little bit in the map on a map like roughly where to go, and it's basically like in the main area where you were at the inn. It's just off. It's like like down the first street off that area, so it's still within that kind of like central area of the town.
Interesting. Thank you, my good man. I bid you a good day. Loktar. And just leave.
Okay.
Guitar. Anything happening outside whilst they were inside?
Not really, no.
Cool. So as they exit the bar, I step forward and say, "Did you find out where the daycare center is?"
Yes, not far from here. Should be not too long a walk.
Excellent, lead on.
What kind of plan of action are we looking to accomplish in here? Are we looking to just get a kind of casual lie of the land and then probe further later on? Or are we gonna just walk in guns blazing and accuse everyone?
Well, I was going to investigate the surroundings of the daycare center, see if we can find anything on the streets outside. I mean, that old man was fucking useless. So we might as well have a look around and see what we can find for ourselves first before wandering on in and blindly accusing everyone that we can see.
Interesting.
Seems like a good plan. Just point the fingers everywhere.
Damn right.
Cool. Right, let's head there then.
Perfect. So yeah, we're going to the daycare center, Graham, but we're not going in.
Okay.
Or at least I'm not going in.
Right. So as you guys kind of get there, it's kind of like similar looking building to all the other ones. Is like they're all kind of done in the same kind of like style. again, made of wood.
Do you mean they're all made of wood?
Yeah, but they're all kind of like overly carved. Like rather than just having like a bit of wood, they've got like swirls and like fancy bits and shit in it, and like little bits of
Wastage porno.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So there's that, and it's got a kind of like large kind of fence and grass area, which it's like outside of the park bit. It's the only kind of bit that you've seen in the town that actually has like large areas of grass.
Cool.
But it's like the entire front bit is a kind of like grass area. It's got like
Right. Just a question.
Hmm?
So we've pitched up at the daycare.
Yes.
Are there like rampant children like rampaging about the place?
There's a couple, yeah.
Right. I'm gonna use alter self
Mm-hmm.
and assume the form of a child,
Okay.
and then kind of try and blend in with the other fucking dribbling cretins that are running around.
Okay, cool. So you like alter self. I mean, it allows you to change yourself quite a bit, but for you, becoming a child's fairly easy. You just look less like a gnome.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine I'd change, like, I'd try and alter my Hawaiian shirt and beard, and just kind of soften up my features a bit and just look a bit more like a child from a town that's obsessed with fucking wood, whatever that would look like.
They just look like normal children.
They're not wearing wooden dungarees or anything, are they?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna try and, like, get amidst the throng of children.
You are going to wear wooden dungarees just to stick out from the crowd.
Oh, they'd love that.
Small wooden duck on his head.
Come in with like a little stick with like a little carved thing on it. Just be like, I got this from this store. Yeah. You kind of walk up, right? So basically, I'm assuming you're doing this way out of like vision of anyone. So you're like kind of walking up.
Yeah.
Right. So is your aim to walk in yourself, or do you want to go in with the rest of the party and like try and have some kind of persona, or?
No, I figured we could just pretend to drop me off
All right.
at the daycare. And
Yeah,
I
so
unassumingly hang about, because I reckon they'll have a good face on where if we come asking questions. Whereas if
Yeah.
I'm there,
I think that sounds like a reasonable. If Mira's okay, her and Jonas could drop off little Thonan at the daycare centre, and I'll go and have a snoop around outside.
Little Thonan.
Okay.
Little Thonan.
So, yeah, basically she kind of like leans down to you as you kind of transform, like, or after you've kind of like, once you get kind of outside the daycare, she leans down. She's like, as much as I think you'll be able to handle yourself among some children, and as much as I feel I don't need to say this, but please do not try anything with them. They're young, they're children. It would be wrong. I just wanted to make that clear. And then she just kind of says,
I've honestly given her a death stare. Like,
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, come on.
yeah, and then she kind of looks at you and she's like, Winston will be watching, and you notice that Winston's just kind of like sitting kind of like on your shoulder at the moment and just kind of like just like watching you. They can't see him, by the way.
I feel genuinely insulted she thought I would stoop that low.
I don't know. You've currently got like the equivalent of like the pedo bear watcher on your shoulder, just being like, I'm watching you in case you try anything with these kiddies.
That's
And-
not what Peter Weir does.
No, pedo
I
bear's
live by a code, you know.
God.
too old. Is that your code?
Pretty much.
So, but yeah, but I think the point she's trying to make is that Winston is going to be
All
looking
I'm
at...
saying is if Big Timmy steps to me thinking I'm going to be his bottom bitch, I'm going to smack him in the puss.
Right, okay, well, the point she's trying to make is that Winston will keep you safe. Even though she doesn't think that you're going to have any trouble, like, being safe among children, just in case he's going to be with you anyway. But yeah, she's quite happy to kind of go along with that.
Like a
one.
rape alarm.
Yeah, and not for the kids. Okay, we good?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just wondering.
Alright, so as you kind of...
I'm going off on an explore. Like,
You're going
around
off,
the
right, okay.
outsides.
So as you approach this kind of like fairly kind of young woman comes out. She's probably like in her late 20s, early 30s-ish. It's kind of youngish compared to like... Mainly because... Okay, this is a kind of like an aside, but there will be very few girls around these towns who are ages with Mira. like most of those girls have been picked up to be prospects or have been taken in to be like sponsored by people and stuff like that. So there's very few that are that age. A lot of them, like the kind of youngest you'll see at this point will be basically anyone outside the ages of 16, 17 and like 25 will be here, and anyone inside that range is probably away being a prospect. But anyway, so she comes out and she comes up to you and she's like, "Oh, do you have someone to drop off here? Are you looking to leave your child in our care?" Like, and then she kind of starts saying like, "Oh, we're well supported by Lord Carlington. Lady Carlington. Sorry, we're kind of blah blah blah," and kind of tells you about it. And kind of starts going off on trying to like give you some kind of like confidence speech of why you should be dropping your child off here.
I let her like spiel on for a bit, and then after a while I was like, "Yeah, we were thinking of leaving Thonan here with you for the evening, as my wife and I were looking to go out for dinner. However, we heard some troubling news that the two daughters of the lord of this local town have gone missing, and they were last seen here. I was wondering if you could just put my mind at ease at maybe what happened."
She's kind of like slightly taken aback of how kind of like you just kind of like coming out with it slightly, and she's also kind of like eyeing Mira, being like, "You look kind of odd age," but yeah, she's basically kind of being like, she's sitting kind of going, "Well, I don't understand where you've heard this information, but I don't remember. I don't like." And she's kind of like going on a little bit, and she's like, I mean, and like, try to say, I think she would come across like she's still kind of like, as you mention it, she's still kind of like upset about things, and like like you can tell she's kind of like saddened by it, but she's kind of, and she kind of like gathers herself, and she's like, "Nope," she's like, I've done my duty. I did my job. The girls were delivered, blah blah blah. And it's like kind of like she's more talking to herself than you, but she's not really. She's kind of like not really saying that, like, I don't know. It's as if like this has kind of been eating on her, and she's been trying to avoid it as best she can.
Right, what kind of toys are kicking about in the main floor? I'm assuming we're inside.
There's wooden carvings of things.
Right, cool. Is there any that look like they move?
Not really, no.
Right, it's already
There's kind of like little toy things though, like little
I'm
kind of.
obsessed with wood, and none of them are really good. God damn it!
Well, how else would you like automate wood?
I don't know, like a tricycle.
Tricycle.
Or a swing.
Yeah, there's a swing.
Right, I'm gonna fucking jump right on that swing.
Okay, but yeah, she kind of like.
I kind of half interrupted, like, delivered? What do you mean delivered?
She looks at you and she's like, the girls. She's like trying to remember. She's like, the girls were in my care, and I delivered them home. I dropped them off as requested by the lady. It's like I did everything I was supposed to do. I don't think I did anything wrong. I mean, I think they were fine. I don't. And she's kind of looking about them like, I mean, what if someone else got them? What if? And then like you can see that this is like something she was kind of like thinking it over a lot, but she's like been trying to push it out.
I don't know if you actually want me to roll on this, but like, could I sense motive to see if she's like lying?
Yeah, definitely.
Truth? I'm assuming. Yeah.
She's basically like.
Roll.
Yeah, like she's basically someone. Yeah, if you roll, but she's basically someone who is like going through one of the stages of grief and is like unsure. Yeah, but yeah, she looks like she's someone who's like going through the stages of grief and is unsure.
So she looks like reasonably legit.
Yeah, but
okay, cool.
Her kind of like her mind's all over the place and she's not really sure what's going on.
But I just kind of turned to like, sorry, I've obviously brought up matters that have saddened you. I did not mean that.
She kind of composes herself a bit, and she's like, "Nope, that's fine. It's acceptable for you to ask. You want to leave your child here, and you want to know if we're actually capable." The lady has overseen this establishment since it was opened, and she was the one who kind of like drove to have a safe place for children of the town to come and be looked after. I've been in charge of this place for a number of years now, and I've not had any we've never had any problems with any children. Like none have even injured themselves or had any kind of problems between each other or had any kind of like fights or anything. Like nothing really has happened. And then the Lord's daughters of anyone to go missing. I mean, heaven forbid it was anyone to lose. But
I've heard they were well liked. It's well, fine. We'll leave Thonan here. And I was wondering if you could do us the same courtesy as you did the Lord's daughters, and maybe drop him off at our hotel. We're just staying at the greased pig inn in the center of town. If you could just drop him off there tomorrow morning, that would be fantastic.
She's like, oh, we don't do like deliveries and stuff. Like we don't kind of like drop the children off. But she kind of says like, what happens usually with the children that, or the Lord's daughters, what usually happened was one of the people from the Lord's house comes down and picks them up and takes them back to the house. We don't actually deliver them off personally, but like we on the day that they went missing, I definitely like they were handed over correctly. And then she kind of like she says it, but she's not really sure if like, and like even in her saying it, she's not sure.
Who do you usually hand them off to? The guards, or we met two of them, and some of them are frightfully useless.
She's like, well, we've never had any problems with them before, but I would admit they're not the best. They're not the best people we've ever dealt with. But it definitely was one of his men. Like it was one of the people who worked for him that I gave them to. It was nothing out of the ordinary. They knew him. They'd met with him before. It's not as if it was a stranger.
It was like, oh, thank you very much. I will come back to collect Thonan tomorrow morning then myself. And I just kind of like turn around to leave.
Okay.
And I assume like Mira follows me.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's literally just not really said anything this
weekend.
And
I like, not to look like a total cold-hearted bastard, I go over to Thonan to be like, goodbye, son. I will see you tomorrow. I kind of like ruffle his hair in like a really condescending way because I know I can.
Just patting his head, being like, "There, yeah. Thun, it's okay.
There, don't cry, it'll be okay." And I just walk off.
Cool. Right. Do you want to take another break now? Because that's another hour.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, sound.
So we'll take another break, and I'll try and sort this shit and see what's going on.